All right, guys, what's going on? You're back with Scott at Arc Metal Fab. So we got the hot side in. You saw it on the last video. Here it is, all installed. All the primary stuff is in. We just got to finish the wastegates up as well as the exhaust coming out that fender eventually. But for right now, I'm going to switch gears and start working on the intercooler piping. So the intercooler piping, you can see the outlet of the compressor housing right there is going to come down. And it's basically going to horseshoe underneath there and then come up and into here. The only other fittings that we got to have in between those two connections are a NPT bung for a temperature sensor for the inlet side of the cooler. And then we can start working on the outlet side. So let's get to fitting that. All right, here we are in the car. That's the outlet of the compressor housing. I'm going to come out of there and look at 90 right away coming this way so I can shoot up at an angle and get into the inlet of the intercooler. This is my outside bead roller, and this just puts a nice little bead on the outside of the tubing so that in high boost applications, some of these Turbo LS cars are running 35-40 pounds of boost. It puts a nice little bead on the outside of the tubing, and that helps so that the tubing doesn't blow off of boot connections or silicone connections, and just creates a nice seal that's going to stay connected. A lot of this tubing fitting sometimes is not perfectly round, so you got to use tricks like this to try to get it so that it fits up real nice and you don't have any mismatch on your joints. we got our inlet side installed. You can see we just connected it to the intercooler. We got our bung for our air temperature that's coming into the inlet side of the intercooler. And then we are connected the outlet of the compressor housing, the turbo, and then we just come straight up and shoot into the intercooler. So it's a pretty straight shot. I'm pretty happy with the fitment of it, and it looks pretty decent. For the outlet side of the intercooler, it's actually going to be pretty simple. We just got a 90 out of here, come through this opening right here, look right here, and then turn and look towards the intake with another 90 right there. The only specialty items that we have to have on this is actually 2 blow-off valves, since we're going to be having to relieve a lot of volume of air, as well as another IAT bung. This is a SS Custom tacking band, and I got them in a bunch of various sizes. It really helps for stuff like this, so you can temporarily get something clamped together to try to verify fitment. So right now I'm kind of contemplating 3 different areas for clearance. It's kind of hard to tell from the angle, but I got about a 1/2 inch of clearance from the pulleys to the sidewall of this pipe. This is 3.5 inch OD. I'm also pretty tight to the steering line. I got just a little bit of clearance on it right now, and that should be really all we need. But what I want to make sure of is that I'm not obstructing the path of this water neck, so that we can get that to the water pump right here, as well as having enough room to clear for a radiator shroud and a fan setup right here. What I'm going to do is I have both of these pipes clocked at the same plane, so they're both going to be running at the same angle, so it's going to be a straight shot coming into it. The only problem is that this tube needs to be angled slightly this way, and in order to do that, I'm going to have to cut this tube down. I already have it marked for the angle I want to cut, so now I'm going to bring it over the saw, and this is one of those things where you cut a little bit at a time to make sure you can get proper fitment, because it's a lot harder to add material back than to remove more. I know this will be a bit of an abrupt ending, but I didn't want this video to get too long, so I'm going to split it into 2 sections. The next part of this video will come out next week. That's it for this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless, and I'll catch you on the next one.